Between 1979 and 1980, Anatoly Guseinovich Nagiyev, often known as the Mad One, was a Soviet serial killer, mass murderer, and sexual abuser who murdered at least 6 women with terrible brutality. He also RPD'd at least 30 women over the course of the same period of time, and he stalked and attempted to murder the famed Soviet singer Alla Pugacheva. Nagiyev was born on January 26, 1958, in Engarsk, to a family from Dagestan or, according to other reports, they were Ingush or Cossacks. He grew up in Engarsk with his brother and sister. Following that, the family with 3 children relocated to the Kursk Oblast and established themselves in the city of Sudza. Nagiyev was an avid participant in athletics, notably athletic gymnastics, although he had a reputation for being a bully from boyhood. He had issues with females, with some suggesting that his little height of 1.57 meters made him seem unattractive to them. He was convicted of 3 sexual assaults committed between May and June 1975 and sentenced to 6 years in jail, which he spent in the commissar. He was granted parole in 1979 as a result of his exemplary behavior. After his release, he went to labor in the hamlet of Chikshino, in the Pechora area of the Komi-autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic. On January 30, 1979, in the city of Pechora, he RP'd and murdered Olga Demenenko, whom he had met by chance the day before. Using the fact that the train compartment was virtually empty, he RP'd and murdered a train passenger called Daria Krovchenko, who was traveling to Pechora on May 28. The corpse had been buried in the baggage compartment under the seats of the car. It has been suggested by some that the deceased was murdered because she looked like Alla Pugacheva. The next month, Nagiyev went to Kursk, where he found work as a projectionist for a mobile movie exhibit. Because of the working circumstances, he was able to spend a significant amount of time away from his permanent residence. 4 women, including 2 conductors and 2 passengers, were RP'd and murdered by him on July 4, 1980, while riding the train Moscow-Kharkiv. In the Ural region, between the stations Stalnoy Kon and Stanovoy Kolodez, the remains of the deceased were then tossed out a window. Besides that, between November 1979 and September 1980, he committed more than 30 sexual assaults in different Soviet communities. Arrest, trial, and execution are all possible outcomes in this situation. Despite having bloodstains on his clothing and a knife in his hand on the day of the final killings, Nagiyev was alerted to the presence of a railway electrician and did not kill him. When the investigators finished compiling the full list of the items that he had stolen from his victims, they distributed it to pawnshops and jewelry stores in various locations around the Soviet Union. After giving one of these pieces of jewelry to an acquaintance, Nagiyev was tracked down in Kursk, where he was recognized by the owner of the jewelry business. Afterwards, an acquaintance came forward to tell authorities who had presented him with the ring. During a search of Nagiyev's mother's home, a notebook with several addresses in various localities around the Soviet Union was discovered. Nagiyev was apprehended in Dnipro on September 12, 1980. He was first kept in a detention facility in Ural, but after a few months, he attempted to flee by tearing off his shackles and headbutting the guards, but he was apprehended and jailed once more by police. His security was increased significantly when he was moved to the Kursk CISO. In the aftermath of this, Nagiyev started to confess to his misdeeds, even those of which he was originally unaware, such as the 2 killings. In addition, it has been suspected that he was responsible for more killings than he admitted to. Apart from that, while serving his sentence, Nagiyev said that his goal was to murder Alla Pugacheva and that he had been to Moscow on multiple occasions in order to accomplish this goal. A firing squad intended to kill Nagiyev on July 2, 1981, after he was found guilty of murder by the Kursk Regional Court. It was reported in early August 1981 that Nagiyev had been transported to the Novotcherkassk jail in order for his death sentence to be carried out. His escape from Novotcherkassk was made possible by sneaking past the passing train on August 19. Upon his arrival in the city, Nikolai Shchilakov, the then Minister of Interior Affairs, predicted that the murderer would be apprehended in 3 weeks, but he was only apprehended after 2 months of searching. A man named Nagiyev was hiding in one of the fields near Novotcherkassk, pretending to be from the Roma ethnic group. Local villagers became suspicious of him, and they reported him to the authorities. After being released from prison, he was detained again on September 29, 1981. He aggressively resisted, and as a consequence, he was shot many times. His wounds were too severe for the physicians to treat, and he was killed at the Novotcherkassk jail on October 28, 1981.